This morning for you on Daybreak, a new bill is filed that would allow power companies to bill customers first.
And we'll take a look back at how Missouri's medical marijuana amendment progressed in 2019 and what still needs to be done in 2020.
And with a new year comes a new minimum wage. It's on the rise. We'll talk about how it impacts local businesses here in the Ozarks this morning for you on Daybreak.
Welcome back. It's Thursday, January 2nd. I'm Lauren Barnes.
And I'm Joe Morano as we are in 2020, Lauren.
Feels good. You know, yesterday, January 1st, I was out and about a little bit, and Springfield was like a ghost town. Everyone was sleeping in, except for one place. I went and saw a movie. I went and saw Little Women, and everyone and their brother was at the movie theater.
Really?
Probably
Popular
the only place
movie day.
open, yeah.
Did you like the film?
Yeah, it was good. Definitely worth seeing. A lot about women's empowerment, and it makes you appreciate all the women that came before us.
Very good to see. And later on, we'll have Chris the Critic talk a little bit, too, because it is a Thursday. We've got the buzz for you. Right now, we've got meteorologist Elisa Raffa joining us in studio. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, 2020.
That's it?
I
feel good?
Yeah, it feels like yesterday, the day before.
Do you want to see Little Women?
I still want to see the Mr. Rogers movie.
There's a lot going out right now. We actually wanted to see
capitalize on that.
Bombshell, too, but it was sold
that
out.
too.
Yeah.
Really?
Goodness. All right. Popular movie day. We can go back this afternoon, too. Will we want to stay inside or not? How's the weather looking today?
We'll have clouds around, not as windy as yesterday, and temperatures still stay a little bit warm. We're starting out warm this morning with those temperatures in the lower 40s, mostly cloudy skies, and southerly winds at 15 miles per hour. Those winds are pretty steady out of the south, and that's what's keeping those temperatures pretty warm for us. We're mostly cloudy this morning, a couple of light showers from Mountain Home to West Plains, and we keep that south and east trend and focus for the showers through the day today. Temperatures are about 15 degrees warmer now than they were yesterday. It's 42 degrees in Springfield, 41 in Monette, and 41 degrees in Camdenton. Winds are out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, still finding a gust or two near 20 miles per hour. Again, not nearly as windy as it was yesterday. Mostly dry roads today, but then maybe a shower or two late, mainly to the south and east. Showers should be pretty light, not expecting any heavy rain there. Springfield is still out on break, but if you are going back to school, 56 degrees by dismissal, mostly cloudy and mild, tracking shower chances for today and tonight, and then colder tomorrow. Your full forecast is in 10 minutes.
This morning for you, a local representative has filed a bill to let power companies bill customers first, even though Missouri hasn't had a nuclear power plant in 30 years. Francis Lynn is in studio this morning to tell us more about this bill.
Well, Joe, Representative John Black from Marshfield says the goal is to adapt to the future, having more carbon-free energy sources. The bill would allow companies to add the cost of the new nuclear plant while they're still under construction to customers' bills. The reason, according to Representative Black, is because there will most likely never be any new coal plants anymore. This comes after Missourians banned this practice back in 1976, a time where Representative Black says people weren't very familiar with climate change yet. He also says there is a nuclear technology on the horizon that will be a game changer.
And that technology is called small modular reactors. Small modular reactors are the type of nuclear power plant that powers our aircraft carriers, powers our submarines. If we have the ability to power our submarines and our aircraft carriers with nuclear power, we ought to have the ability to use nuclear power for our homes and our businesses to produce electricity.
Another goal of the bill is to make sure the cost of the nuclear plants aren't too high after construction is over. The interest could potentially even double the cost of a plant because the interest can't be paid down as the plant's being constructed.
All right, thank you, Francis, for that report. Keeping crime in focus now. One woman was rushed to the hospital yesterday morning after being shot outside Illusions Gentlemen's Club in Christian County. Officials say it happened around 2:30 in the morning when the unknown man shot the woman. Police are still trying to identify him, and right now we don't have an update on the condition of the woman. This is the second time, though, in the span of a few months that someone was shot at the club. On October 30th, the man allegedly shot another man in the leg after trying to break up a fight outside the club. That man, ANTOINE, is facing assault and armed criminal action charges. BOSTIC is set to appear in court for a hearing January 8th.
There's been a lot of progress made for Missouri's medical marijuana amendment in 2019. It really began, though, in November of 2018 when a bill was passed by a 65% margin from Missouri voters. Early last year, there were meetings throughout the state to hear concerns or questions from citizens. In the summer came the rollout of applications for both patients and potential businesses in the industry, all while cities hashed out zoning for marijuana facilities. Patients needed to find doctors who would certify them. Cox and Mercy sided with federal law, which resulted in clinics popping up in the fall. In the last few weeks, those in the cultivating and transporting sectors have either been accepted or denied. There is still more to be done, but Chip Sheppard told Color 10 back in June that patients should have access to products sometime this year.
I've heard estimates from anywhere from March of next year all the way through maybe December of next year before a lot of the dispensaries will be open, because it takes time to grow it. It takes time to build out the facilities, especially the grow facilities.
Around 25,000 Missourians have been approved for medical marijuana cards, which is more than expected. January will also be a big month for the program, as we should find out the locations of manufacturers and dispensaries.
Just one state over, more than 11,000 people with marijuana convictions in Illinois will have their records cleared. Governor J.B. Pritzker pardoned them Tuesday, meaning those convictions will now be expunged.
These 11,017 misdemeanor convictions represent individuals who have carried around with them a stain on their records for possessing less than 30 grams of cannabis, a stain that has very often prevented them from obtaining housing or jobs or benefits. Today, we lift the burden on the first 11,017 of those people.
Marijuana is now legal in 11 states and legal for medical use in 33. That includes Illinois, where hundreds of customers lined up yesterday at dispensaries to buy recreational pot. Some were there hours before business opened.
I don't even smoke that often, but I was like, it's a part of history. I live close, and I was up for New Year's Eve, so strolled on over.
The timing there, New Year's Eve, he was just already awake. Under the new law, anyone 21 and older can buy and possess recreational marijuana.
We've also got some political news here in Missouri, as Governor Mike Parson says the state will consent to take in more refugees. Now, this comes in response to an executive order issued in September by President Trump. It requires governors to publicly agree or decline to accept lawfully admitted refugees from other countries. Parson says Missouri has a long history of refugee resettlement, and many of them have become vital members of our communities.
We've got dry roads in Springfield this morning on our Color 10 Live Drive. We're mostly cloudy, couple of light showers to the south and east near West Plains and Mountain Home, and we keep a southeast track with some rain today. Details on that coming up next.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak.